Hello, welcome to this week's Montgomery Minute for Individuals. We're going to continue talking about the one big beautiful bill that passed back on July 4th. And I've been covering this bill extensively and making sure that I touch on all the topics that affect individual tax filers. The next one I want to talk about is one of the most disappointing ones of the entire bill, and that is the child tax credit. If you recall during the campaigns, both Biden and Trump, talked about greatly increasing the child tax credit, as politicians will do during campaigns. Well, after the election, and here's what the bill holds for us now in terms of the child tax credit. Okay, let me talk about what existed previously. So, the child tax credit previous to this bill was $2,000 per child that you get to take as a tax credit. Okay, and based on income levels, that can be a refundable credit. And when the child turned 17, in the year they turned 17, it went down to $500. So we had $2,000 for the first block up until they were 17, and then it went down to $500, and that continued indefinitely if the child never emancipated. So that $500 tax credit would continue. Okay. Um, the one big beautiful bill, the disappointing thing is that yes, it does increase it from $2,000 to $2,200. Big deal, $200 increase. During the campaigns, both campaigns talked about increasing it to 3,000, 4,000, 5. I even heard 6,000 in one of the debates. Okay. And but they all talked about raising it. And what do we get? We get a $200 increase. Worse though than that is that they removed the $500. Okay. So in the year the child turns 17, it goes to zero. So it just drops off, which even prior to this, it was backwards. Those of us who are parents know that those late teenage years are the most expensive. And if you really want to send your child off into the world with an education and things like that, that's when things are the most expensive. And so the tax code did not support, as it should, what people were trying to do in raising their children. So that the child tax credit, what I was hoping for is that it would follow the Affordable Care Act, which means that we can keep our children on our health insurance until they're 26 years old. Okay. So I was hoping the child tax credit would go up and it would continue while we're still claiming them as dependents up until the age 26. So this is a tax increase. Okay. I don't care about the $200 and the $200, the fact that it went from 2,000 to $200. I am disappointed that it drops off to nothing at 17, and they could have done better. Thanks for watching this week's Montgomery Minute for Individuals.